You feel something no one else seems to notice, a weight you can't name, but carry every single day, an anxiety that appears out of nowhere, a voice that never stops criticizing you, a presence that refuses to stay quiet. What if I told you this isn't random? That what feels like weakness might actually be evidence of something most people will never experience. Maybe you've called it anxiety, fear, or overthinking. But what if these aren't flaws at all? What if they're signals, codes written by your psyche waiting to be decoded? Jung believed the mind doesn't waste energy on accidents. Those strange symptoms, the ones that set you apart, might be messages pointing directly to your true nature. And here's the turning point. What if the part of yourself you've tried to bury is the very key you've been searching for? That restlessness, that voice, that weight, they're not enemies. They're guides. Carl Jung called this the shadow, the sum of what we hide, deny, or label as weakness. But your shadow isn't a trash bin. It's a vault. Inside are instincts, talents, and strengths you haven't yet learned to use. And the gold, Jung said, is always hidden where you fear to look. Think about it. What if the things that make you feel too much are proof that you're tuned to a deeper frequency? Anxiety, shame, the fear of rejection, they're not punishments. They're invitations. The very pain you want to escape may be the doorway to your transformation. So let me ask you, who would you be if you stopped fighting yourself? If you stopped apologizing for feeling deeply or carrying guilt for choosing yourself? That version of you already exists, waiting to be born. And in this video, you'll discover 7 signs that may look like weakness, but actually reveal your rare aura. The first sign of your rare aura shows up in a way you probably know too well. That inner voice that never gives you a break. It's like the very moment you uncover something valuable about yourself, a whisper cuts in, "Not good enough. You're still not there." That voice lurks in the shadows, always ready to chop down any sense of achievement. And let's be real, it's not easy to silence something that sounds so damn convincing. What stings is how you judge yourself nonstop. Doesn't matter if people praise you. Doesn't matter if you went above and beyond. The inner judge never closes the case. That constant pressure wears you out. Like every step forward gets erased by the thought, "I should have done better." And when you finally try to rest, your mind won't shut up. It replays your mistakes like fire alarms you can't turn off. But here's the flip side. This so-called sabotaging voice is actually proof of expanded awareness. While most folks drift through life blind to their own patterns, you notice even the tiniest cracks. That discomfort, it's lucidity. You're not numb. You feel every nuance, every inconsistency, and that's a sign you're way more awake than you think. It's like having an inner radar tuned to lies, and it starts with your own. You can tell when you're making excuses, when you're pretending you're fine, when you're hiding behind a mask. Yeah, that sensitivity hurts, but it also shields you. If you refuse to fool yourself, it's a hell of a lot harder for others to fool you. That's a rare kind of clarity. And here's where the hidden power kicks in. Once you learn to read your own shadow, you naturally become a mirror for others. Maybe you've noticed how some people squirm around you, like they've been seen past their facade. That's not random. Your ability to see beyond the surface reflects back on them. And without trying, you awaken what they'd rather keep buried. Of course, this gift comes with a weight, I know. The more you perceive, the harder it is to live among illusions. But what if I told you that same heaviness could turn into a compass for your life? Because the next sign will show you how what feels like nothing but a silent burden is actually the clearest evidence of your rare aura. The second sign feels like living without skin. Everything cuts right through you. The careless words people throw around, the heavy energy in certain rooms, even the silences that somehow speak louder than 1,000 sentences. You carry the weight of what you feel, plus the burden of pretending you don't feel that much. That constant fight wears you down, because to the world, you always seem like too much. And I know how suffocating it is to carry that kind of intensity in a world that worships superficiality. You try to fit in. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You say you're fine when you're falling apart. You stay quiet just to avoid making others uncomfortable. But deep down, it hurts even more, because the desire you keep locked inside is simple: to be understood without having to explain, to be accepted without having to shrink. What most people don't get is that your sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's refinement. Your nervous system isn't broken, it's finely tuned in a rare way to pick up on frequencies others completely miss. You notice the shift in someone's tone, the way their eyes dodge yours, the pauses between their words. It's like you've got an emotional antenna always on, decoding the truth behind the masks. And yeah, feeling this much also keeps you in constant defense mode. Your body learns to brace for chaos even when there's no real threat. That's why you deal with fatigue, hypervigilance, that uneasy sense of never truly relaxing. But here's the thing. That same wiring makes you carry a one-of-a-kind inner compass. Because the one who senses first protects first. And the one who feels more understands deeper. The hidden power in this is massive. Your presence alone makes people feel what they've been running from, even from themselves. Maybe you've noticed how some folks get restless around you without knowing why. That's because your aura works like a silent mirror. You don't even have to say a word. Just being there pulls hidden truths to the surface. If this hit home, I want you to do something right now. Hit the like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments if you're also done pretending you feel less than you do. Because in the next sign, you'll see how even the pain that didn't start with you, but somehow refuses to leave you, might just be the clearest proof of your rare aura. The third sign of your rare aura is self-sabotage. You know this cycle all too well. Things finally start working out, life begins to flow, and suddenly you find a way to ruin it yourself. Sometimes it's a sharp word, sometimes a reckless choice, and other times you just quit before the results even show up. And then comes the heavy guilt, that cruel thought. Why do I always ruin everything I work so hard for? That pain echoes again and again. You feel trapped in destructive patterns you can't quite explain. It's like there's a part of you wired to block your own happiness. And that stings even more because it reinforces the fear of rejection. If you can't even choose yourself, why would anyone else? This is the point where so many give up on dreaming, convinced they were born to live in permanent defense mode. But what if I told you self-sabotage isn't punishment, but an inner guardian? Yeah, this brutal mechanism is there to shield you from an even greater pain. The pain of living a life that isn't yours. Whenever you build something on a false foundation, whether it's pleasing others, hiding your sensitivity, or squeezing yourself into molds that don't fit, your soul hits the alarm. It blows up what doesn't have roots in your truth. Think of it like your psyche's alarm system against false constructions. Picture building a beautiful house on sand. On the outside, everyone claps, but deep down you know it's going to collapse. Self-sabotage is the implosion that happens before the fall. It hurts, but it's your soul's way of saying, this isn't you. Don't keep going down this road. It might look like an enemy, but in reality, it's the most powerful authenticity filter you've got. Here's the flip. What you call failure is really your soul refusing to live numb. That filter forces you to rewrite your emotional story, to stop repeating inherited cycles, to refuse anything less than a life aligned with who you really are. You carry a rare power. You can't keep masks on for long. And that very force, painful as it feels, ends up inspiring everyone who crosses your path. So let me ask you this. If even your self-sabotage is working in service of authenticity, what happens when you start carrying pain that isn't even yours? That's the clue for the next sign. Maybe the most mysterious of them all. and the one that explains why your aura unsettles so many. The fourth sign is an addiction to distractions. You might think this doesn't apply to you, but look closer. How many times have you lost track of hours just scrolling through social media? Or turned to adult content as an escape from a void you couldn't name? Maybe you've drowned yourself in food, impulsive shopping, endless binge watching, or even relationships you knew would drain you, all just to avoid listening to that inner call that refuses to stay quiet. This pain is real because distraction feels like instant relief, but it quickly turns into guilt. You tell yourself, just one more episode, just tonight I'll overdo it, just this once. But before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of anesthesia. The real ache isn't the distraction itself. It's running from your own intensity. Deep down, you feel that if you stop, you'll have to face memories, emptiness, and wounds you've carried since early on, and that's terrifying. Here's the truth nobody tells you. You weren't born to live off distractions. Your mind wasn't built for quick consumption, for fleeting pleasures, for numbing agents that cut you off from yourself. While most people settle for living on the surface, you carry a deeper hunger, to be understood without having to explain, to live in peace with yourself, to turn sensitivity into strength. Distractions don't fill that void. They only make it bigger. It's like your soul is screaming. You weren't born to hop from stone to stone. You were born to dive into the depth of the lake. Every addiction, every escape is just proof you were made for the dive. When you chase distraction, what you're really craving is silence. When you reach for anesthesia, you're really longing for peace. The problem is, you're searching in all the wrong places. The calm you're looking for isn't out there. It's in the courage to look within. And here's the hidden power of this sign. Your addiction to distractions actually points to your spiritual calling. You were made for contemplation, not for drowning in noise. That same sensitivity that feels like a curse might be the doorway to meanings others could never see. You carry the rare gift of turning chaos into symbols, of pulling sense out of what looks senseless. And that's a calling you can't silence with distractions. So let me ask you, what if, instead of using food, social media, adult content, or shopping to run away, you chose to dive into the silence you fear the most? You might discover that many of the pains you're carrying aren't even yours. And that's exactly what the next sign is about. The fifth sign of your rare aura is the guilt you feel when you put yourself first. Choosing change feels almost like betraying your own family or dishonoring your story. Every time you choose yourself, that nagging voice whispers, "But what about them? What if you're just being selfish?" The feeling is so strong that many times you slip back into patterns you already knew were broken, just to avoid dealing with the guilt of choosing yourself. This pain runs deep. Maybe you grew up carrying responsibilities that were never yours, learning to stay loyal to the pain of those who came before you. It's like there's an unspoken rule. If I suffered, then you have to suffer too. And when you try to break that cycle, it feels like you're abandoning the ones who raised you, like you're leaving your whole history behind. But here's the truth. That guilt is actually hiding a rare strength. You're a cycle breaker. Your sensitivity lets you see patterns your family couldn't. By putting yourself first, you're not betraying anyone, you're healing. You're showing that there's another way to live, one that doesn't have to be built on repeated pain. That's the role of those who carry a rare aura, to carve out paths where before there was only silence. Think of it like this: you're the first tree that dares to grow outside the shadow of the forest. At first, the wind feels harsher, the sun hits harder, and the loneliness is real. But it's precisely because you dared to grow beyond the shadow that you guarantee light for the ones who'll come after you. Your courage to put yourself first doesn't just free you, it opens up space for future generations to finally breathe. The hidden power of this sign is exactly that. Your mission isn't just to free yourself, but to free those who'll come after you. By choosing yourself, you're rewriting the story of your lineage. Where there was guilt, you plant courage. Where there was blind loyalty, you offer awareness. And that shift, even though it hurts, transforms your pain into purpose. You become living proof that change is possible. So here's a question you might never have asked yourself. Is this guilt really yours? Or just an inheritance you've been carrying? That reflection sets the stage for the next sign, where you'll see how even the weight you didn't create, but still carry, can reveal the rarest mark of your aura. The sixth sign of your rare aura shows up in something you may have never really noticed. Your body is always on alert. Tight shoulders, clenched jaw, shallow breathing. It's like you're bracing for a blow that never comes. Strange, right? Even when everything looks calm, your body behaves as if danger is lurking. That's not random. It's a hidden code written inside you. Have you ever wondered why anxiety shows up out of nowhere? Or why certain aches keep coming back, even when doctors can't explain them? It's because your body stores memories your mind doesn't want to recall. Small rejections, old fears, childhood wounds, all archived like invisible scars. You might forget, but the body never does. It records everything like a secret diary. And here's the mystery. Why does the body insist on replaying what hurts? Because deep down, it's wiser than you think. Every tightness in your chest is a message. Every knot in your stomach is a warning. The body speaks before the mind can make sense of it. It's a biological radar, tuned to detect inconsistencies, hidden risks, and unspoken truths. You feel first, you think later. Ever noticed how that happens to you? This constant state of alert might feel like a curse, but it hides a rare strength. It means your sensitivity is so heightened that even the collective unconscious brushes through you. It's as if your body were an antenna picking up frequencies most people miss. Sure, it's exhausting, but it also gives you a perception very few have. You catch nuances no one else sees. And that lucidity, though heavy, is one of the clearest marks of your rare aura. The hidden power here is immense. Somatic wisdom. Your body doesn't just reveal trauma, it offers clues for healing. If you learn to decode your tension, you'll uncover the emotional knots waiting to be untied. Your body is like a book written in a secret language, and every ache is a sentence asking to be read. The real question is, do you have the courage to decipher it? Now think with me. If even your body keeps memories that words can't, what about the pain you feel that wasn't even born in you? That's exactly what we'll dive into in the next sign. And it might just be the most unsettling revelation about your rare aura. The seventh sign of your rare aura is carrying pain that didn't even start with you. It's that sudden sadness that comes out of nowhere, with no clear reason. It's the guilt you feel even though you've done nothing wrong. It's that invisible loyalty, like part of you has to keep alive a wound that never began in your own story. Jung explained this as the contents of the collective psyche seeping into the individual. This experience is more common than most realize, but in you it shows up with rare intensity. Jung taught that the psyche isn't just individual, it's also collective. That means, without knowing it, you may be carrying fragments of unresolved family history, secrets, fears, traumas. Your body and mind act like they're storing echoes of something that's been passed down through generations. You feel it even though you never lived it, but behind that weight lies a hidden strength. This transgenerational empathy gives you access to layers of the psyche most people ignore. You pick up on unspoken pains, those that silently shape behaviors, relationships, even destinies. It's like you're an unconscious guardian of your family's emotional story, but instead of staying trapped as a victim, you carry the rare chance to be the one who breaks the pattern. The moment you look within and recognize that part of what you feel isn't actually yours, you open the door to something revolutionary, breaking a cycle of repetition. Jung called this individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, no longer a prisoner of inherited stories. And here's the hidden power of this sign. You can become a lineage healer. By recognizing the pain you've inherited, you free not only yourself but also rewrite the path for the ones who come after you. It's as if, by integrating what was once buried, you reshape the entire emotional fabric of your family. That's the role of those with a rare aura, to act as catalysts of collective transformation. So here's the challenge. If even the pain you've inherited is a sign of your calling, what does that reveal about your true mission? Maybe what once felt like unbearable weight is actually the proof that your sensitivity wasn't meant to be hidden. It was meant to light paths no one else dared to walk. Your shadow doesn't paralyze you. It wakes you up. That silent pain you sometimes carry, even when you don't know where it comes from, isn't weakness. It's proof you were chosen to feel what most people around you can't. The burden isn't yours alone. It's the signal of a rare aura, one that moves through generations and transforms everything it touches. Pain isn't a sign you're broken. It's a sign you're awakening. What once felt like heaviness or confusion is actually evidence of depth, a kind of clarity most people never reach. And once you stop fighting it, you realize the very weight you tried to escape was guiding you toward your true power all along. The world may not understand your intensity yet, but that's no accident, it's a calling. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to shine light on what others keep hidden, to carry forward what others chose to ignore. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's the guardian of the mission you were born to fulfill. If this message resonated with you, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And drop a comment below. Which of these 7 signs spoke to you the most? I want to hear your story.